everybody, it's me, Zach, this is Potato, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and today I'm dressed up like a fucking red flag, so maybe Amberlynn will see. Maybe she'll be able to see what's going on, because there's just so many red flags and she keeps ignoring them all, every single one of them. Alright, so if you don't know, we are going to be covering a live stream that she did. I was playing Fortnite with my friends at like 11:30 midnight my time, and I saw that she went live and, and saw essentially that she was doing this live stream about being back with the old Tommy Salami. And by being back with, I'm not convinced that they ever broke up, nor do I think most of us were. But that's what we're going to talk about today. There's lots of red flags. This is about the only red shirt I have. It's a Reba shirt. I actually hauled it in a video years ago. I did a Reba merchandise haul in a video once upon a time. That's really all besides the point. But yeah, we're going to cover that, and I just want to get to a few things before we get into the actual live stream. I know that things are happening so fast and there's so much confusion. People are like mixed up on what the names are, this, that, the other. So at least for a while, anytime that I bring up these girls' names, these side characters' names, I'm gonna give a brief explanation just so you can be on the same page as me. And also, it's just been a long time since we had any side characters besides Mama Lynn, so it gets pretty confusing when you've only ever had to remember Amberlynn and Mama Lynn. So, if you've forgotten already, like Amberlynn would have hoped you to do, but now has clearly given up on that, Tommy Salami is a girl that she started dating about a month ago, something like that, maybe a little bit more now. She's actually met Tommy Salami in real life, and Tommy Salami has a lot of accusations out in the world about her being a feeder, including actual images and photos from a feeder website called Phoebe. And like I said, this live stream, she announces that, she is still in a relationship with Tommy Salami. And I think most people assumed that this was the case because one, Amber lies. Two, I just showed in my last video the screenshot of Tommy messaging someone saying that she was following Britney so she could line up the timelines of when Amberlynn was talking to Erica versus when Amberlynn was talking to Tommy. And like, why would Tommy care about what the timelines of all of that were if she wasn't still dating Amberlynn? Like, who gives a fuck if you're broken up? And I just want to say it's really clear to me and many others, I'm sure, that that Amberlynn ignited that whole fucking fire regarding Eric. She set up that circus tent around her affair that she participated in with Erica because she really thought it would get people to stop talking about Tommy. And y'all said, no, I don't think so, and y'all kept bringing Tommy Salami up. And I really did think that she would honestly probably just reintroduce Tommy in a month. It seemed like she was trying to set up this stage where she could just reintroduce Tommy as somebody else, just like she did with Wifey. But I think she realized that wasn't gonna work, and so she just blew everything up for nothing. She put herself through that fucking circus for nothing, and now she's just like, hey, here she is. This is my feeder girlfriend. Well, she doesn't really admit to Tommy being a feeder, but we'll get to that. I do just want to say I haven't forgotten about Erica and Britney. If you don't know, Erica is the woman that Amberlynn dated for, I don't know, almost a year, a little less than a year, named Valentine, or at least that's what Amberlynn told us her name was. Her actual name is Erica. She has a wife named Britney. And I just did a very long video covering all of them, but that's the too long didn't watch. And I am aware that they did a live stream with Jordy over on his channel, Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. And I gotta be honest, I still haven't watched it, but I have seen a lot of recaps and tweets about it and things like that. So I have like a general idea of what happened in it. but again, I have not actually watched it. I have to say that it seems like the main thing that came out of it that we didn't know before is that Erica shared a lot about what Amberlynn shared about her relationship with Feline, Wifey, or Jade, whichever one you might know her by. To what I understand, there wasn't necessarily proof, and a lot of this is also based on Erica's recollection of what Amberlynn told her about that situation. I do have to say, and we'll get to Alexis here in a second as well, but I do have to say that Alexis has also come out and said that Amberlynn and Wifey's relationship was violent in nature. And I just think that it's really important that people who are involved in those situations tell their own stories. And since Amberlynn nor Feline / Wifey / Jade have come forward to talk about that, I don't really think it's Erica's story or Alexis's story to tell. And certainly not their story to tell without any proof. It doesn't seem entirely like they are actually concerned about Amberlynn or Feline in that situation, because both Erica and Alexis only came out with this information after they parted ways with Amberlynn. And yes, we're gonna get to Alexis parting ways with Amberlynn, which also I said I was gonna give you an overview of who each of these people were every time I brought them up, and I didn't even say this, but Alexis is Amberlynn's just friend. They're just friends. And in the last video I reacted to of Amberlynn's live stream, Alexis was on FaceTime with Amberlynn throughout that whole live stream. So anyways, that's my thoughts about the info that's come out about Wifey and Amberlynn. I don't have a lot more to say about it outside of it seems like Erica and Alexis are only sharing this now because they've ended their relationships with Amberlynn, and I don't feel like that. I feel like they're sharing it for tea and not because they actually care about whatever violence happened in that situation. And if they don't have like actual proof of it, then I think it is more important to wait until one or more of the people involved in that situation comes forward to talk about it themselves. I know also that Britney talks about like $2,400 that she thinks Amberlynn owes her or something, and that there's like, I don't know, maybe they talk about alleging that there'll be a lawsuit or something too. I'm really only mentioning it because multiple times in Amberlynn's live stream from last night, she talks about the $2,400, so y'all might be wondering what that's about, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. And allegedly at the end of the conversation that they have with Jordy, they claim that they're gonna be done with everything, that they're ending their involvement in this situation. But I will say that Britney has posted on her YouTube community tab and said, I'm going to be posting a video this week about how all of this has personally affected me, what it's really been like behind the scenes, finding out things I had no idea about, and how I've been coping with it, and what it feels like in my position, and how Erica has reacted to my questions, and more. I have a little question for you guys as well I need to ask. I don't know what that question is. I don't think she actually says. And then what's interesting is like somebody rightfully does point out like, girl, I thought you said you were dropping it. And Britney responds, did she drop it? Nope. She keeps on flapping that ma of hers, referring to Amberlynn still talking about it in live streams. This is specifically referring to this live stream that I'm about to talk about. I don't plan on actually talking a lot about what Amberlynn said about Erica and Britney in this live stream, mostly because not much of it's new. Like, she doesn't actually introduce a lot of new thoughts, concepts, information, etc. So it feels like if you want to know her thoughts about Erica and Britney, then it's best to just go back and watch my video from yesterday. There were also a lot of people in her comments asking for receipts, and they're like, we don't want to hear anything unless you show us receipts, like show us proof. And it's interesting because Britney kind of like answered in so many different ways. A lot of it was like, well, what receipts do you really want to see? But then also suggesting that there were receipts that she did know of that she could share, and she might just have to do that. I don't know. Britney honestly seems like a lot, and it also seems like she is finding out new information about Erica's relationship with Amberlynn that she wasn't privy to. And honestly, truly, it doesn't sound like Erica and Britney are in a relationship that's healthy, and they should probably both end it. I mean, I don't really know a lot of details about what's going on between them, obviously. Like, I'm not inside their home. I don't see what their relationship looks like, but with what they've displayed on the internet in this past week, I would say, yeah, maybe it's time to consider ending things. And also, by the way, I was gonna include this if I did like fully cover the two of them in another video, and maybe if Britney does post like a follow-up video, maybe we will discuss it over here. But I do want to say that there's also fully a TikTok of Britney on her own TikTok account where she's in a Lowe's uniform. So I don't know if she was like previously a therapist or if she's somehow like a Lowe's therapist. I don't really know the details of all of that, but I do just want to put out there that she works at Lowe's at least sometimes because she has a uniform and a name tag. So as an update on Miss Alexis, this morning after Amberlynn did this live stream, Alexis posted some TikToks that I think are pretty important to consider. And I have so many screenshots, and I know that I don't even have all of them because I was looking on Twitter and I saw that I think she went and messaged Jordy and he shared like actual messages from Alexis. And then I was seeing places like, I saw one screenshot, I think maybe from Apathetic Facts, where she was saying something along the lines of like, Tommy was like trying to convince Amberlynn to like, let her quit her job so that Amberlynn could pay for everything and things like that. And I think that's interesting, but I couldn't find that on her TikTok. I don't know if I'm just blind and couldn't see it. But anyways, Alexis posted this on TikTok. It does have music or something in the background, but you really just only need the screenshot, and said, I just want to publicly announce that I've ended my friendship with Amberlynn. If she wants to stay with Tommy, that's fine. I refuse to sit around and watch what will happen if she continues having a relationship with her. This was an extremely hard decision for me to make, but unfortunately, this is just what's best for me. Amberlynn, I hope you understand. There are many comments that she responds to, and I'll just read you a handful of them, and then for sure go look for yourself. I think the TikTok is still up there. Somebody said, what was the turning point? And she said, her crying every single day about Tommy, but then defending the same behavior she was crying about. It was exhausting. I would assume after watching the live stream, it's probably the feeder stuff because Amberlynn defends the feeder stuff a lot in her live stream. Somebody said, not placing the opinion of her best friend higher than that of a feeder who is clearly manipulating her and the situation is wild to me. And Alexis said, this is my favorite comment thus far. Someone said, no one needs to babysit Amberlynn Reid. I'm a hater, but you're doing the right thing. Amber is going to dig her own grave dating a feeder. It is what it is. And Lex said, it's so much deeper than just feeder allegations, but you're right. Another person said, if you really cut ties with Amber, I'm proud of you. She honestly doesn't give a damn about her health. Her live was absolutely appalling. And Alexis said, I can't watch it. I have to start detaching. Another person said, come on, do a tell-all. And Alexis said, I have no problem speaking on my experience, but there's a difference between doing that and maintaining integrity and just outright talking shit, which I refuse to do. But yet she's fully out here putting Amberlynn on blast, Amberlynn's relationship on blast. Another person said, I thought you liked Tommy. Respect for doing what's right for you, though, girl. I hope you're okay. And Alexis said, I tried to, even after everything came out, but she's extremely harmful to Amber, and I can't watch what's going to happen next. Another person said, I'm back with another question. There was screenshots going around that seemed like Tommy was trying to catch Amber cheating / when she stopped talking to Erica. Is there tea with that? That's such a red flag. And Alexis said, Tommy is always trying to find something to get mad at Amber for. It's toxic. Erica and Amber were done when she started talking to Tommy. There was no overlap. And that's all the screenshots I took, but like I said, feel free to go check out her actual TikTok and read the comments yourself. So yeah, it seems like Alexis has ended things because of Amberlynn's choice to date Tommy. I think it's interesting that, you know, Alexis stood by Amberlynn's side the whole time that Amberlynn was engaging in an affair or like was a part of an affair and knowingly a part of one, but that this was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Which also, maybe that makes sense. Maybe Alexis is like, wow, I really stuck through this Erica bullshit with you, and now you want to do this Tommy bullshit with me. Like, I can see her being like, nope, I stuck by you through one mess, I can't do another. So let's talk about the actual live stream. I'm going to try to speed run this, although I have, again, a lot of notes. And this one was 3 hours, and yesterday's was only like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So my brain really just like can't sit down for 3 hours at a time and take this in, even at 2 times speed. And also taking notes, but it's fine. We did it. I got through. Well, I will say maybe like the last 20, 30 minutes, I just gave up. Honestly, she just kept repeating over and over again, like, should I get off this live? Should I get off? Should I get off this live? I'm like, just do it, girl. Just end it. Put us out of our misery, please. But she does do a pretty good job of taking like the first hour to get all of the like actual story out. And I would say after the first hour, once again, it was mostly like a Q&A, although there is a little bit more to talk about in the rest of the stream today. And I gotta say, it's insane to me that Amberlynn's narrative this entire like week has been like, oh, boo-hoo, YouTube's not the place for me. I don't think this is what's right for me. But yet she's like already back to live streaming for 3 hours again. Like literally in her live stream yesterday, she was saying, I can't do this anymore. And she's like already out here back at it again. And she also said in her last live stream that she thought she should just be single. So, you know what? As you watch this whole thing, I think it's fair. I mean, it would be fair without that fact, but I think it's really fair to not take any of this shit seriously. So she gets on stream and she's very giddy and she seems to be drunk and or drinking alcohol and trying to act like, he. And then you find out that she really is. She really is drinking. She was drinking Seagrams, and then at like some point the last drink she had was a buzzball. And overall the stream was very much giving texting Erica I love you while drunk situation types of deals. And right off the bat she was already annoying as fuck. Okay, the entire fucking live stream, she was clearly FaceTiming, talking to, texting something, a friend off screen. And by friend, I mean it was Tommy, but she wouldn't just like come right out and say that, but it happened so fucking much. Like she might have gotten rid of Alexis, but she replaced it with probably something more annoying because she's just sitting there infatuated with her girlfriend and we had to sit and watch just her side of that. And it happened so many times as documented in all the clips you're about to see.
Hold on a second. Are you good over there? Are you good? So you're good. Okay. Who am I talking to on the phone? Nobody. Hold on. I need to tell my friend that I'm actually... I know, that's the point. Baby, that's the point. Hold on. I need to text my friend. I'm live streaming. No, I shouldn't be TMI. I'm not going to be TMI. I'll calm down. I'm not going to be hectic. How did I change from rage? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. What flavor am I? That's not a scandal. Is that a scandal type deal? Are you okay type deal? Yeah? Yeah? I love you type deal.
And girl, that wasn't even all of them, if I'm being honest. We could be here for years. And it might not have been Alexis, but it's just sure as fuck was still annoying. Throughout the stream, she talks about her weight a lot more than she did yesterday, and she starts it all off by talking about how she would consider trying out Ozempic or semaglutide again.
Ozempic. I'm not on it anymore type deal type, but it's like, I will retry it. Like, let's retry it. Who cares, you know? Yeah, like, I can go back on semaglutide. Like, it's not like this thing where it's like, oh, I stopped it. Can never do it again.
Which is interesting since she's now, you know, on this feed her girlfriend diet. So I would be interested to see how that goes. And she also lets us know that she's really screwing the haters.
Screw the haters, live your life. I'm about to. Okay.
Yeah, she's screwing the haters by dating a feeder. You got us, gal. You really fucking got us. Own us. Own your haters by dating a feeder. You really got us. And before she makes any big announcements, she talks about being tipsy and saying that she's intentionally tipsy because she's scared of sharing what she's about to share.
I'm not doing this because I'm tipsy. I'm tipsy because I'm doing this, because I'm scared.
And I'm sorry, girl, but if you have to get drunk in order to share this information with your audience, I just want to say, red flag. Red fucking flag, girl. Like, you should not have to get drunk to talk about things like this. Like, one, that is like a concerning sign to me about your relationship with alcohol, but also a concerning sign to me about how you feel about this relationship. Like, would you really be talking about all of this if you weren't drunk? Questionable. But in fact, Amberlynn is in a love type deal, and she does finally confirm that they're still together.
I'm in love type deal. I really am. And it's been a lot. It's been like hectic. It's been really hectic, I'm not gonna lie. And it's been hard. And like I'm still okay. I am with Tommy still. Not like physically, which is unfortunate because trust, I would love that. But we are still together.
And she also mentions that, you know, like, she only did things that she did, like doxing Erica, to try and protect her relationship with Tommy. And also, she just loves love.
I, like, was trying really hard to, like, protect her, obviously, and just, like, protect us. And I feel like that's... People could say I'm always in love. It's fine. Like, I love love.
To be clear, Amberlynn doesn't love love. She loves the idea of being in love. And it's also clear that Amberlynn only loves love for herself, and she doesn't give a shit about other people's love because she's willing to engage in a several-month-long relationship with a married woman that she knows is married. Amberlynn wants us to know that there's a lot of things about Tommy, a lot of rumors and lies about Tommy that just aren't true. And no worries, y'all, she's totally gonna clear those up for us.
Just know that, like, I am still with Tommy, and there's just been a lot of things that, like, aren't true that have been said, and I just want to be the one to, like, set it straight, because I feel like that's important. And I know, like, a lot of people aren't gonna believe a word that I say, and that's fine. Like, I fully get it. People will believe what they want to believe.
And I just want to be clear to Amberlynn that the reason that people don't trust and believe you, I mean, specifically about this relationship, is that everything about this relationship started off with lies. You already lied to us and claimed that y'all were broken up, and now you're parading Tommy back out again because you're in love or whatever, and you realize that your lies weren't working. Had you come out about these allegations from the beginning, it could have seemed more credible at least. But instead you lied and said y'all broke up, and then you started this shitstorm with Erica. Like, I feel like everything that you're about to hear from her could have potentially hit so different if she would have just said this at the beginning when it came out. I still probably would have called bullshit on most of Tommy's, like, reasonings for engaging in this feeder content, but, like, it would have potentially hit different. But now, on top of just these bullshit reasons that you're giving for Tommy engaging in feeder content, that's also all sitting on top of the lie that y'all broke up when y'all clearly didn't. I also was just really annoyed because she said at least like 20 different fucking times that the rumors were not true and this, that, the other before she actually got to any kind of semblance of actually responding to what the rumors were or what the, like, proof was that proved that the rumors were wrong. Which, again, I think speaks to that idea that she really talks to her audience about these things like they already know what the rumors are. Like, she's just like, oh, you know, all of these rumors are not true. But I'm like, you haven't even said what rumors are allegedly not true. Like, she really just assumes that everybody that watches her is also watching reaction channels, visiting message boards to talk about her, this, that, the other. And then when she makes those assumptions, it really just leads to people going to those places to find out what the fuck she's talking about. Like, they really learn quickly, even if they're new to her channel, that, like, there's more to the story if there's all of these rumors and she's not even fully explaining what the rumors are. So anyways, allegedly, they were totally, really, truly gonna break up when she said that they were.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, we were gonna break up. Without a doubt, that was gonna happen. But it's like, we genuinely make each other happy. So it's like, why break up when you genuinely, like, love someone?
And it did make me think about whenever I watched their breakup video or whatever, or Amberlynn's video about their breakup, I do remember saying, like, if they were truly so in love, like, why would this be something that would come between them? Like, nothing was going to necessarily change about anything moving forward. Like, they still loved one another, allegedly. Like, it seemed so silly to me as a concept. Like, why would you let the opinions of people on the internet come between you if you're so in love? And before she even gets to, like, naming that people think that Tommy is a feeder, she takes time to let us know that she's not in danger and she's actually a skinny legend and she's been losing weight.
And I promise I'm not, like, in danger. That's not a thing. You guys know that, like, I have been trying to lose weight and I actually have been. Like, I weighed my lowest that I've weighed in, like, 8 years. 467, folks.
Which is so funny because I said in my video yesterday, I said that she literally wanted to have her next video after breaking up with Tommy be a weigh-in video just so she could be out here saying that she's a skinny legend and, like, I'm actually losing weight even though I was dating a feeder. It's so goofy. So she finally, about 10 minutes in, she finally actually does get to sharing why Tommy is not a feeder, explaining why Tommy wasn't a feeder, and letting us know why we should believe her.
Which rumors are not true. Tommy is not a feeder at all. And I got permission to share, like, why certain photos were online. So when Tommy was with her late fiance, they were long distance and they wanted to see each other more often. And to do so, they found a way to, like, make money. And it was never, like, out of, like, a, like, ill intent type of thing. And I know a lot of people are going to think that and still continue to assume that. And that's, I can't change anyone's opinion. I can only sit here and tell you the truth. That's all I can do. Like, it was just a way for them to make money. It wasn't something they did in their, like, alone time, like, if that makes sense.
Coming from the girl who believed that Erica totally was only in a marriage for financial reasons, you really are going to sit here and believe that your new girlfriend was only doing feeder content for financial reasons? Like, girl, it's literally almost the exact same reason that Erica convinced you with her lies. Like, the money thing is like literally almost a carbon copy. I mean, it's two different things, but financial reasons being the excuse for both of them, it's just so crazy to me that you can't see the red flags, girl. There are red flags here. What is the problem? Why can't you see that? Like, I really feel like I need to just like come whap her upside the head and knock some sense into her, because it doesn't make any damn sense to me. She really must be fucking colorblind. But okay, whatever. Let's say that it's true. Let's say that it's true that Tommy and her late partner just really were only doing this kind of content because they needed to make some money so that they could visit each other more often. Do you think that she's just gonna suddenly have money to keep coming and visiting you? You think she's going to be able to afford to keep going back and forth to Oklahoma to visit you, girly? And like I said, I saw a screenshot from Alexis suggesting that Tommy wanted to quit her job and let Amberlynn pay for everything. So how are you going to be paying for her trips, Amberlynn? You going to start doing mukbangs again? You going to start being messy on fucking YouTube again? Like, she's so in denial about this. And somebody did ask a question nearly 2 hours later in the live stream that kind of hit on this question a little bit, like these questions that I have about, like, how is Tommy going to pay for these trips moving forward? But they asked how she paid for the Jeep that she got whenever she visited Amberlynn, and this was Amberlynn's response.
Someone was asking, like, how she paid for the Jeep, because it's been a long time since, or like months since she's had to like travel like that. So obviously she has money like saved up and stuff. And it was just one trip, literally just one, versus like multiple. So yeah.
So I don't know, maybe Tommy is in a different financial situation. I mean, we really don't know. But I will say it's only been 3 months-ish since Tommy's partner passed. So it's hard to say how long Tommy has suddenly been financially stable, this, that, the other, who knows. I actually don't even know, like, when the posts on that feeder website were from. I couldn't tell you. I do not have any idea. But it seems within the realm of possibilities that, like, Tommy Salami could be using her for money in the future. For sure, for real. And I also, while we're still talking about Tommy and Tommy being a feeder, I also just want to reiterate that we became aware of Tommy's involvement in the feeder community, not because somebody who follows Amberlynn made the connection, but because of somebody that follows Tommy made the connection, because there are people on the internet that follow people in the feeder community, and they noticed Tommy and Amberlynn's TikTok. So Tommy's somebody that has allegedly been known to the feeder community for a while. Enough that, like, she was recognizable to them when they came across Amberlynn's TikTok. Amberlynn mentions that it's so hard to hear people lie about one of the greatest people she's ever known.
No, I didn't lie. Like, we genuinely were going to break up. Like, that was like the truth. It felt really heavy and scary for the both of us. It's just been a hard time, like, for people to be saying that Tommy is a person that, like, she's literally not that person. She's one of the greatest people I've ever known. And I will stand by that. Like, I genuinely have never felt so, like, loved and comfortable with someone ever. And I want to be able to, like, stick up for her and stick up for, like, our love, because it's important to me. And you guys don't have to believe anything that I'm saying, which is fine, but, like, I'm happy. And I have never felt so, like, seen by somebody, and it just feels really good.
And I just want to say, Amberlynn, in the past week, just the past week alone, let alone the entire years and years and years of content on your channel, but the past week of content on your channel has clearly shown that you are not a great judge of character. You are not good at vetting the people you're dating. So the fact that you think this woman that you've barely known for a month is the greatest, one of the greatest people you've ever met is so fucking foolish. And I also just want to say, in the live stream you did yesterday, or the day before, the one I responded to yesterday, you went on and on and on about how your BPD refuses to let you see red flags and makes you just go straight on past them. Which, by the way, in this video, she gets mad anytime that people bring up her BPD. She acts so confused why people would bring that up. In fact, at one point, she's like, why won't you all just let me be happy? Why do you gotta bring up my BPD?
BPD in full effect. You guys, can't someone just like literally be happy and like weird?
And I don't know, maybe it's because the last live stream you did, you spent the entire time explaining why your BPD made you miss all the red flags about Erica. And besides all of that, she's literally said all of these same things about every single partner she's ever had. So it's really like she hasn't learned anything. She also lets us know that, like, in the past she felt really like her partners were ashamed of her, but now that she's dating a feeder, that's not a problem anymore.
For so long I felt like I was with people who were like ashamed of me and like hiding me, and it did not feel good at all. And
you might be wondering who of her past partners like didn't make her feel like she was appreciated, who made her feel ashamed, whoever, whatever. And she mentions Erica, obviously, but then also kind of vaguely references Feline.
Who specifically do you feel was hiding you? Well, obviously Erica, hi. But that makes sense. And like, I don't want to bring up like names and stuff, but there is, sorry, I'm getting messages. There is, you know, a relationship that I also recently had where we didn't go really do anything together. And I very much felt like maybe there was some sort of like beingashamed.com up in there. And it feels awful. It genuinely feels awful to feel that way.
One of the other things that is so annoying about this live stream, like, makes it so hard and insufferable to get through, is she's found this new word that she just uses over and over and over again, and it's hectic.
Well, that's hectic. What does hectic mean? It means everything. It means good. It means bad. It means like, you guys remember when I used to say Hootenberry? Very much in replace for that. I haven't said Hootenberry and I can't even tell you how long, but do you guys remember that era? Yeah. Favorite book? A Child Called It. I know that's like hectic. My favorite true crime case. Like the Chris Watts situation type deal is like hectic. So that one came to mind first. And
it's kind of, honestly, the wildest part of it is that she uses it in ways that like clearly are weird to use it for. Like she uses it to describe the book A Child Called It, and she also used it to describe like an actual true crime case that is real life. Anyways, she wants everybody to know that, like, Tommy is so different than all of her other partners because when Tommy visited, she moved more than she ever has before.
And when Tommy was here, like, we went places constantly and we did things. And I don't think I've moved that much, like, in forever.
And I was, like, trying to think about what we saw in the vlog of Tommy's visit to see her, and I was like, okay, sure, you were in fact like out and about on town doing more stuff than we typically see in a vlog, but also all of the things that you showed the two of you doing were things that you've shown us you doing with other people, like the things that you showed us with Eric and Ricky when they came to visit, things that you've shown us you doing with Mama Lynn, like going to the casino, going to an arcade, going to a restaurant, going to the gay bars in Oklahoma. Like, you've shown all of those things before. It feels like you're just trying to emphasize that, like, you had so much more movement when Tommy visited you because you don't want people to think that she's a feeder. You want people to think, like, oh, Tommy came and gave you a workout. Well, she might have given you some kind of workout, but you want them to think that, like, you've been just dropping all the LBs because of Tommy's presence in your life. And also don't forget that Tommy is, like, totally the best ever because Tommy rented a Jeep.
I feel like you would thrive in a Jeep that would fit your vibe. I agree. Like, literally obsessed with the Jeep. I'm not gonna lie. And Tommy made that happen for me. Like,
I desperately need Amberlynn Reid to dream bigger. Girl, dream fucking bigger than a Jeep ride. But also, I do sort of get it. Like, when Noel and I bought a Subaru, I really became like a passenger princess. And it is kind of nice to have, like, your partner just chauffeur you around. Like, I really do feel like royalty. We also find out that Mama Lynn got COVID and didn't actually get to meet Tommy, really. And I would truly not wish COVID on anybody, but honestly, it feels like Mama Lynn dodged a fucking bullet. We also find out that Tommy had this idea that it would be like a great idea to make a care package for Mama Lynn.
My mom got COVID, so she unfortunately didn't get to meet Tommy, but it was like the cutest thing. Tommy was like, we should like go get her like a, is it like a care package? I don't really know like the word for it. So we went and we made like this care package for her, and it was just like the sweetest thing. So we went to my mom's apartment, and I like am so scared of COVID. So I was like, Tommy, will you like get out and like knock on my mom's door for me? Because I'm like way like too scared. So she did it. And then we were able to park in a spot where my mom could like still see me like in the Jeep. And my mom was so freaking happy. And like she saw, like, so did my stepdad. I call him my stepdad because they're literally going to get married one day. So like, that's my stepdad. Like, I love him so much. So they saw us and they were like, they literally both can't stop smiling and laughing. Like, that is literally the energy that me and Tommy have when we're together. Like, just constantly smiling. And it's just everything. It's just literally everything. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy.
The funniest part about it to me is that literally Mama Lynn had to get the care package from Tommy, a stranger she's never actually met. And I don't think that they like actually like met face to face, but like Tommy's the one that got out of the car to take it to the door, and Mama Lynn just had to sit and stare at her little girl, Amberlynn, sitting in the rental Jeep. When she talks about that story, she talks a lot about how, like, happy she was and how she really wants to be in this relationship because she deserves to just be happy, and she just wants to be happy, and she says it over and over again throughout the live stream. And I think that that's just, like, indicative of how Amberlynn approaches life. Like, she thinks about short-term happiness and not long-term happiness. And I think if she would focus on long-term happiness, she might realize it's not worth it to take a risk on a woman who has a history of engaging in feeder content. But instead, she's like, no, right now, Tommy makes me happy. That's all that matters. And we also get a breakdown of the timeline of Amberlynn's engagement with Tommy on the internet.
Okay, so the timeline, this is beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up. So the first time Tommy ever messaged me was June 18th. Literally so recent, I knew. And I literally have proof of that. Like, we met on the good old TikTok. She messaged me, and it's freaking crazy because I don't reply to many TikTok messages. Like, that's not something I do. And I replied to her.
It's wild to me that Tommy found her on TikTok because all of Amberlynn's content over there is just so cringe. Like, her personality over there is just not it for me. I know it's not it for many people anywhere on the internet, but like, in particular on TikTok, I just think she's so cringe. And it's also interesting because So many people have always said that they felt like Amberlynn was posting thirst traps over on TikTok. They don't necessarily make me thirsty, but I guess they worked on Tommy. I guess Tommy fell into that thirst trap. And I also just want to be clear that TikTok was the app where Tommy was also messaging a TikTok user named Spanx Beluga, who is another, like, super morbidly obese woman. Eventually, they moved on to talking on Instagram, and Tommy really won her over with her great conversation skills.
So I was like, here's my Instagram. Let's talk on there because I don't really like do the whole TikTok bit. And so we would message each other on on Instagram, sorry. And she, like, we had really good conversation. Like, she actually could hold a conversation, like, with paragraphs and, like, engage in what I was saying. And it's like, it's hard to find people who actually want to, like, genuinely, like, have a discussion with you. And it's not just constantly like, what's up? Like, how you doing? Like, no, it was, like, really in depth. And that's a turn on for me. Like, if you can hold a conversation and if you seem engaging, like, I love that shit.
The bar is literally just, like, so low to impress Amberlynn. Like, the bar is in hell. Like, oh my God, you can hold a conversation? Like, let's get Fingerlyn on over here. And then we find out that they eventually moved on to Snapchat conversations and also then eventually onto actual phone calls. And I'm so fascinated and kind of love that she talks about the progression of the relationship through, like, what social media app they were talking on at the time. Like, it's fascinating to me because, you know, most people talk about relationship milestones of, like, oh, we went on our first date. This is when our first kiss was. This is maybe the first time we slept together. This is our 1 month anniversary. And Amberlynn's like, no, this is the first time we talked on Instagram. Like, so silly. And also, I guess, just speaks to the fact that they'd only been talking for, like, a month. So I guess, like, what relationship milestones can you have over a month when you only know each other via the internet? She also says that she knows for a fact that Tommy is not love bombing her because, well, Erica did that.
Are you sure you aren't being love bombed? Correct. I know what that means, and that is not that. A love bomber is Erica. Just saying.
But let's be so real right now, Amberlynn. You certainly are also a perpetrator of love bombing people. She also claims that there's somehow, some way that she can prove that the posts on the feeder website were just for money, and she would never want to be with somebody who wanted her to be bigger.
Can she prove the posts were for money only? Yeah, like, she has proved that to me. Trust me, you guys, I would never be with someone who wanted me to get bigger. If you guys have watched my YouTube long enough, then you fucking know that.
And I honestly am just like, well, what kind of proof could you possibly have for that? like, what could you possibly see as proof and evidence that that was the motivation behind those posts? But also, Amberlynn is in Delulu land because she goes on to reiterate how dating a feeder helps you lose weight.
And I'm finally on a path where I'm losing weight. Like, she has been in my life since June 18th, and I've lost weight. Like, this isn't, you know?
At one point, she also talks about how reaction channels fill in the holes themselves, and she, like, understands why people believe them because, like, there's a lot of things that are missing from her stories, and so reaction channels just, like, fill in the things that Amberlynn leaves out.
Because when you see things online, you're like, whoa, this is crazy. And when reaction channels take that information and they fill in the holes themselves, it becomes a lot. And you start to believe what you're seeing. And I get it. I get that. But I am telling you that what you're hearing is not true. And I don't know how else to prove that besides just be myself and be true to myself. And both of us be true to each other.
And listen, y'all know I stay away from speculation on my end as much as possible because I do realize that I probably don't know anything that's going on with Amberlynn unless she tells us. But I don't fault other people for speculating. People wouldn't have to speculate if she, one, didn't lie, and two, would just tell us the whole story from the beginning. She keeps finding herself in these situations where she gets caught in lies or like more information comes out that she didn't initially share with us. And then she goes on and on and on about how people are just like accepting the lies that the reaction channels are telling her. Well, girl, if you would have just told us the truth to begin with, we wouldn't be here. Like, you have more subscribers, I think, than any reaction channel that's out there. So you have a platform bigger than all of us. Use it. Tell your truth. Tell the whole story. and like, let us know. People wouldn't have to make up shit if you would just be honest about it to begin with. And then she goes into a more in-depth conversation about semaglutide, and she claims that she actually started considering quitting semaglutide before she ever met Tommy. She talked to Mama Lynn about it.
So even before I want to make this very clear. Even before I met Tommy, like, I was talking to my mom about quitting semaglutide because it wasn't working. I had literally doubled the dose like I was supposed to, and it was not working for me. And I was like, this isn't working. And my mom's like, give it another week. So I was like, fuck, fine. And then I met Tommy. We started talking. She even told me, just keep going. Sometimes you have times where it just doesn't work, because she actually knows someone who's also on it. And she was so supportive of me being on it. And she would constantly ask, like, how I was feeling and like this and that. Like, she was 100% supportive. And she's 100% supportive of me losing weight. She wants me healthy. She wants me mobile. She wants me happy. And she wants to have a life with me. She wants to go out and do things with me. Like, I mean, that says a lot, folks, I got to say.
So Tommy allegedly encouraged her to keep going, whatever, sure. Okay. And I think really what is the case here is that, like, regardless of if Tommy did or didn't encourage her, like, the truth still stands that Amberlynn just can't stick to anything. She won't give anything a fair chance. And actually, somebody in the chat says that to her at one point, and Amberlynn's like, exactly, like, it's literally me. I'm the problem. Why would you blame Tommy? And I was a little bit like, T. Like, okay, kind of true. But I also think it's possible that right now, at the beginning of their relationship, Tommy's just saying all the right things. Tommy's saying what she thinks Amberlynn wants to hear. Tommy is not gonna, like, go and start immediately probably trying to be a feeder, I would guess. I would guess, because everything about Amberlynn's online presence suggests that she wants to lose weight, whether she takes that seriously or not. And honestly, Amberlynn continues to be duped by women in relationships who say the things that she wants to hear. And she's already believed this, like, crazy reason for why Tommy is on these feeder websites. Like, yeah, I would believe that Amberlynn believes that Tommy doesn't want her to gain weight. And just for, you know, archival sake, I do just want to reiterate that Amberlynn reiterates that she hasn't gotten a new therapist since moving to Oklahoma.
How come I stopped going to therapy? Because I ended up moving to a different state, and my therapist couldn't be my therapist anymore, which sucked so fucking bad, like, truly. And since then, I just haven't gotten a new one.
I mean, that's nothing new, but I just want it out there on the record. About 30 minutes in, I start thinking, is she going to address the fact that Tommy has moved on so quickly from losing her partner? Like, she only lost her partner in April. Like, that is a crazy quick time to turn around and be in a new relationship. And then finally, she addresses people in general moving on too soon. Not Tommy specifically, but people.
Okay, so anyone talking about, like, people moving, like, on so soon and stuff, everyone's timeline is different. I'm not here to, like, ever, like, judge someone based on that. Like, everyone's just different, and timelines are different. I really don't, like, I don't know.
And honestly, I'm tired of hearing Amberlynn talk about how everybody's timelines are different. Like, she said that response a lot in response to her moving on from relationships very quickly. And I think we can all agree that this is also very different because Tommy isn't moving on from a breakup. Tommy is moving on from the actual, like, death of a partner. And honestly, this excuse of everybody has different timelines bullshit is a way that she just uses to excuse all the fucking red flags she sees. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, got all my hair in front of me. I do agree that there are people that can move on rather quickly from things like this. But most people don't move on quickly from things like this all the time. And I think it's a fair question that's worth, like, further consideration on Amberlynn's part. And if she wants this relationship to actually be successful, I think she should be asking questions like, what steps has Tommy taken to fully, like, mourn and grieve her partner? Is Tommy currently in therapy? How does Tommy know that she's ready for a new relationship? And maybe some of those questions have been asked. Who knows? But, like, those are all things that I think would be important. And I think if they had been asked, then if Amberlynn really wanted to give, like, a thoughtful response to this answer, she would be like, well, I know that Tommy's ready to start a new relationship because she's actively been in therapy and she has taken time to grieve in these ways and things like that. But instead she's just like, well, everybody's timelines are different. Bullshit. And I know y'all were worried that Amberlynn might be leaving YouTube, but she just wants to let you know she's not.
Am I leaving YouTube? I think if people stop being so hectic, I will stay. And I just need, like, a little bit of, like, calm to my nervous system because I have been, like, it's just been a lot.
So y'all can breathe a sigh of relief, because I know y'all were worried that Amberlynn was actually going to go to a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job and work, but she's not. She's not. She'll be here on the YouTube where we've all grown to love her. Somebody asked Amberlynn why people are so mean to her.
Why are people so mean to you? It makes me sad. Because I'm fat. It's just easy to be, like, mean to a fat person.
And sure, yeah, let's blame it on you being fat. It certainly has nothing to do with your years of trolling on the internet, or even just, like, you know, the past week where it came out that you stayed in a relationship with a married woman that you knew was married. And then we get to the part of the stream. Well, actually, I just kind of, like, in my notes, I kind of just compiled all the times where Amberlynn just really wanted us to know how much sex she's engaging in and how well-versed in sex she is. So the good news is that Fingerlyn is real.
Fingerlyn is real. You can ask Tommy. Sorry.
And if Fingerlyn wasn't enough to convince you that she has sex, might I suggest Scissorlyn?
Homewrecker Lynn. Yes, Scissorlyn. I've tried.
Might I suggest the time she reassured us that she's a lesbian?
Shame she's a lesbian. I find Amber beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I am a lesbian though. I am. I'm very much I'm strictly clitly. Okay. That's all I want.
Might I suggest her discussing how many people in the past year she's had phone sex with?
I've had phone sex with a few people. I'm not gonna lie. In the last year, I've had phone sex with a few people. Why am I saying this right now? But I've only had real sex with one. What is that? One. This is one.
Might I suggest her discussing her status as a pillow princess?
I'm not. Am I a pillow princess? No. I actually have confirmation that I'm not. So if someone held a gun to my head and said for the fucking rest of your life, you either give or receive, which one you choosing? I would choose give. Why? You would choose that too, huh? I know. It's fine. You can give it to me. Give it to me, baby.
Might I suggest Bottomlyn?
Bottomlyn, no. Sometimes she is a bottom. I mean, a lot of the time, but equally, I also like to give. Like, I just very, like,
Might I suggest her talking about her vibrator?
Do you have a dildo? No, I don't, but I have like a vibrator that I use. Oh my God.
Now, I will say, don't you dare ask if she has a nice pussy.
Did someone just say, is your pussy nice? I can't. That's not okay, folks.
Don't ask that question, but she will let you know that she doesn't have a labia minora.
Do you have roast beef or a coin slot? What is happening? What does that mean? Can you... I don't have a labia minora. I don't have a labia minora, if you're asking that. I don't have a labia. It's fucking wild off the chain. And, you know, it's just a perfect pussy. In my humble opinion. It's just a little one if I have one. It's just a little baby. Wait, right? Because you were there. Is it like common? It's like calm and dainty, though. It's not one of them ones that they hang out.
Please be so fucking serious, Amberlynn. Please, you're supposed to be a lesbian who's having a lot of sex. You're supposed to be a lesbian who's having a lot of sex. She comes out and says, like, after all of this, after all of those clips I've shown, she comes out and says that she doesn't even know that all women have labias.
Every woman has a labia? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I knew that. I actually didn't. I'm sorry. I missed a lot of school in my lifetime. I know. Tommy did tell me that.
Listen, I will admit I had to Google because I was like, let me not hate on her. I'm not an expert when it comes to labias, vaginas, anything of the nature. So I did Google myself because I didn't want to look like a fool. But I just want to remind you that Amberlynn herself has a vagina and also seemingly, according to her, has had plenty of sex with other people who also have vaginas. Anyways, after all of that, she's hoping to get a little freaky after she gets off the live stream.
Oh my God, Amber's gonna get freaky on FaceTime after live? How do you guys know? I really hope so. I'm joking. Oh.
Now, if that was all cringe for you, I promise that there's no more, at least I don't think there's any more conversation about anything like that in the rest of my video, but I did feel obligated to share that with you all because I fucking had to listen to it, so y'all should too. She also at one point acknowledges that live stream Lynn is different than vlog Lynn.
This is not the you that you show us. I know. And this is the real me. And a lot of you do not like her. It's fine because I'm actually really annoying. I talk in different accents. I say the same word repeatedly, like hectic and nair, and I'm just really fucking annoying. That's who I am. And you guys don't see that on a what's it called? A vlog, because how am I gonna do that? Because I'm not really like engaging type deal.
And, you know, she just talked recently about how, you know, she's so different than she was in 2017 through 2019 when she allegedly was at her peak of trolling. But yet she still acknowledges that when she's recording herself and posting things to the internet that she's not truly being herself and that this live stream version of herself is allegedly like the real thing. And as much as I don't personally prefer the live streams as far as her content goes, I think a lot of y'all are correctly pointing out that, like, this is Amberlynn raw and unedited. Like, you get to see a real glimpse at who she is as a person, and it can be annoying. It can be, well, I think all of her personalities are just like a little annoying, but it can also be cringe as hell, which was this stream, or it can also be like just rude and awful as hell. So like, I think you probably do really truly get closest to the truth when you see Amberlynn live stream. Amberlynn does take some time to list off the dumbest, most stupid conspiracy theories that she believes in.
Okay, so the moon landing did not happen. Astronauts are not real. The Earth might be flat. The Earth is not moving like this. It's not going at really fast speed that we all think. There's no way. What else is there? That's all lies.
And she talks about it throughout the live stream after that point, but this woman really wants us to trust and believe her on these things, and she doesn't even know that all women have labias. So, like, please be serious. I don't believe anything. I do not trust you on anything related to being smart. I also want to point out that somebody asked her how she's losing weight if she's not on semaglutide anymore, and this is her response.
How am I losing weight without Ozempic? Because I'm not like binging. I'm not doing any of that. Like, I really feel like semaglutide actually like jump-started my type deal. And it's like I haven't been on it for weeks. So it's like if I was to go back on it, it might like work.
And I don't know. Anytime that she brings up binging again, I just have to ask some questions. Do have to put a little pin in it because I'm just like, you fully, during the weight loss surgery arc, you fully came out and said, I was misdiagnosed of having a binge eating disorder. I don't have a binge eating disorder. I just have a food addiction. And then she'll like bring up this concept of binging, and allegedly right now she's a skinny legend because she hasn't been binging. I don't know, just a question I have. I'm just curious how she would classify herself now. Like, does she think she have a binging problem, or does she think she has a food addiction problem? I also kind of giggled a little bit because at one point she was talking about like being so proud of herself for jumping.
You guys, I jumped. I fucking straight up jumped. I was shook. So I went to like a bar type deal. You guys are going to think that I drink a lot. I don't, I promise. But I went to a bar and I like jumped. I like literally jumped. Was it recorded? No. That should have been fucking recorded. You guys would have been LOLing. Like, I literally jumped and I was so happy. I was shocked. I was surprised. Yeah, like it was everything.
And I was like, is this the like movement in question that you participated in with Tommy? Is this how you were moving more than you ever moved before? She also already wants to change her name on Instagram back to Tommy's Girl. And then the last thing that I'll comment on, at least, is at one point she brings up Jordy. I think maybe there was somebody in the chat named Oh Lordy It's Jordy. I don't know if it was actually him or not, but it leads her to asking Jordy to cool it a bit because it's just so hectic.
Let's have a chat. I understand, like, you're trying to make your bag and stuff, but can we cool it just a little bit? Can we cool it just a little bit? Like, it's a lot. It's been a lot. It's been hectic. I fully support, like, I fuck with reaction channels. I fully support, like, make your bag, react to me, but it's the lies, it's the rumors, it's like the harassment type deal. But like, I fully support a reaction channel, and it's taken me a minute. It's taken me a minute to get to that point to like fully like support that, you know?
And honestly, sure, I get that. I think that's a reasonable request. I think it's fair. Like, she's allowed to ask Jordy to stop making content. I don't think that makes Jordy beholden to that. Like, I don't think he's obligated to stop making content. But my real question to Amberlynn is, have you considered just not staying in a relationship with a woman that you know is married? like you realize Jordy could have made none of the content that he's made this past week if it wasn't for the fact that you engaged in those relationships to begin with. So just a thought, just something to consider. And also, by the way, please just like bookmark this though for like later when she wants to come back and say that like reaction channels are awful and have ruined her life, because how is she saying that like she suddenly, you know, come around on reaction channels and understands them and is chill with them and is okay with them. When literally in the video where she announced her alleged breakup to Tommy, she was crying about how reaction channels ruined her life. So yeah, please bookmark this for later, cause she's ridiculous. I mean, that's pretty much how it always is with her and reaction channels. Some days she likes them, some days she doesn't. She changes her mind about it often. Some days she likes some of us and some days she doesn't. You know, she has said in the past she enjoyed my content. She's enjoyed Alexis Shook's content. She's enjoyed Jordy's content, and then the next day it's like, I hate you all. You all are awful. So I guess that's her prerogative, but it's just not super consistent. I mean, she's allowed to change her mind for sure, but it is ever changing when it comes to reaction channels. So anyways, I kind of got through that quicker than I thought I would. It's still like an hour-long video, but I thought it was gonna go well over an hour. So we did a pretty good job. And also, as I've been noting this week, all of this is ongoing. There will surely be more development soon. So if there are, stay tuned here. Hi angels, it's me, Zach, and I'm here to tell you that I'm editing this very late at night, and of course, while I'm editing this very late at night, Amberlynn is live doing something. I don't know, I haven't even clicked on it. I have no idea, but if it seems worthwhile of talking about in another video, I'll get to it as soon as I can. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll let old Zach, recorded Zach, give you the proper outro. Bye! This was kind of like a special Saturday video. This weekend in general, I'm not doing a lot, so I have the time. I have the time. But I promise it's not always like this. Like, some weekends I am busy and I do have other things to do. Anyways, thank you all so much for hanging out, for joining me today. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!